Hi everyone. So we've talked about music as a rhetorical choice. Now we're going to look at film. A lot of us watch a lot of films, but are there messages within them? So we're going to take a little look at that. Film, like music, they employ rhetorical strategies, ethos, pathos, and logos. So we want to look for those things just like you did in essay 2. In an analysis of film, you're going to look at a lot of different things. So the link here, click on that, and it'll give you a small video that will show you just an interview with two people talking about film, so you can kind of get an idea for what you're going to be doing and what you're going to be looking for in your next essay. So here's a couple things you want to talk about. Step 1 is going to happen before you watch. You need to pick a film. It can be a film you love. It could be a film you've never seen. It could be any kind of theatrical release, something you've watched on YouTube or Netflix. It can be, something you've seen on Hulu. It could be a TV show, an episode of a TV show. But you need to pick something. And before you watch the movie, there's a few things you're going to need to do. After you watch it, there's going to be things you need to do. And you're going to write an analysis. That's going to be your final step for your essay. So there's a link built in here. So click here for a step-by-step tutorial that has examples. Now, film analysis, much like music, there's things you're going to look at. First, you get the film title. Does the title tell you anything about what the film's actually about? You want to look at the director and the year. And you want to go back a little bit. You can just Google it to find out anything about this director, what this director has made in the past. Are there certain films this director seems to make all the time? Is there a viewpoint that's continually in this filmmaker's repertoire? You're going to have a brief description in places in your paper of sequences where you are going to examine. Here's an example of how this film is, attracting the audience by an ethical standpoint. You're going to look at the cinematography. You're going to look at the plot, the narration, and what roles does this sequence play with the larger action of the film, the rising action, the climax, the turning points, the exposition of character development, motifs, and patterns. So those are things you're going to want to look at. Cinematography, not just the composition, but the camera movement. What might be happening off screen that we can't see, but we can see something's happening because of the actor's expression. Note the ways in which the formal elements contribute to our understanding of the theme that you've identified. And these are those formal elements of screenwriting that you saw in the video a couple slides back. You want to look at the editing, the pacing, the rhythm, the graphics. See how it matches. Is it jarring? Is it smooth? Why? Does it mean something? Does it add something to the film? Look at the sound, the music, the effects, the dialogue, the intensity. There's films that are, really quiet, like Castaway with Tom Hanks. So there's not a lot of dialogue in that. He's the only person in the film. He carries the film through. Yet there are other films like Saving Private Ryan, where there's an abundance of sound effects. There's music. There's a lot of other things and dialogue that go on. How do those things add to the meaning of the film, or do they? Now that you have a brief overview, have the film analysis worksheet handy, and let's walk through the process. So we're going to watch two short films. Now, I'm not a proponent or whatever of either of these viewpoints. The reason we're watching these films is not to have a class discussion on the topic of abortion. The reason we're watching these films is because they both have commentary using rhetorical strategies on that topic. And they're short and they're free, so I could give them to you. So we don't have to worry about what we're watching in class because you're watching it at home. So your job in this is not to agree or disagree with the topic. Your job is to say how effective the message was and how was the message given. We're going to watch If These Walls Could Talk. It's old. It's from the 1990s. You can Google it, and I will be posting some information for the class on how to cite films of this nature. You're not required to watch all 3 short films, but you need to watch 1 and 2. You can access them there at the link below, and you're looking for a few things. The first one is about 36 minutes long. So you're going to look at those things that we talked about. You're going to look at the lighting, the editing, the character development. You're going to look at all those things packaged into one. Then you're going to look at the second film, which is also maybe 40 minutes, 35 minutes long. And you're going to look at those same things. So there you have 2 representations of the same topic that's going to help you be able to compare them better. So we're going to look at part 1 first, which is 1952. Again, for both of these, you're going to look at the cinematography. Is it light? Is it dark? Why? What are the color schemes? Do these colors mean something to you? Do they add a different element? For example, plainly the color black in general means loneliness or darkness or evil or something like that. So I apologize to everybody who loves to wear black. That's not what this is about. We're just looking at color schemes and how they convey meaning. We're going to look at how their backstories are revealed for both 1952 and 1973. So you can read through this PowerPoint slide and take a look at both of these things in both of these films so that you can decide for yourself what you think. And you can use that handout that's a few slides back to decide what you think. So now what? Okay, so first, pick a film. It can be a film you love and you're just looking at it from a different perspective. If this is any theatrical release. There's theatrical releases that you can watch on YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, wherever. If you're having trouble finding something that will fit into your budget, if you don't have other things like Amazon Prime or Netflix, let me know and I'm more than happy to help you find something. You're going to apply the rhetorical strategies from this handout and from this PowerPoint lesson to whatever film you choose. You're going to identify the message the film is trying to convey. Then you're going to say, was the message effective? Why or why not? And you're going to take those cinematic elements that we've talked about, the lighting, the cinematography, the music, the sound, the editing, and those things. How is this message being conveyed in this film? And then you're going to write a thesis, and then we'll get started.